We finally have some big news on something we've been waiting for on the iPhone 16 models. We have recently been told every single battery size for each model. And will we finally see a 5000 mAh battery for the iPhone 16 Pro Max? Well, we'll go over all the details about this, and of course we'll also go over the iPhone 16 Pro Max release date and price too. So, can you believe it? We're nearly halfway through February, and in less than 8 months from now, we will have the iPhone 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max, and even that possibility of an iPhone Ultra Model 2. Like I said, guys, already, today's news is all about the battery sizes for the iPhone 16 models. And I'm going to be honest, it's good and it's also bad news. The good news is that 3 out of 4 models will be having a bigger battery inside compared to the iPhone 15 models, according to the leaker mAh. The bad news is that none of them exceed a 5000 mAh, and to be honest, the increase of battery size is not a high percentage on any of the models. He has said that the iPhone 16 and the 16 Pro will have the same size battery, and this will be a 3561 mAh battery, what is only 6% larger than what we got with the iPhone 15 and the 15 Pro. Then for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, he has said that this time we will get a 4676 mAh battery, what is only a 5% increase compared to the battery that we have in the iPhone 15 Pro Max. But the bad news is that the iPhone 16 Plus looks like it will lose about 9% of its battery size compared to the iPhone 15 Plus. Now, what I will say is that in the past, mAh hasn't been fully accurate with a lot of the leaks that he has shared, but he has been close. So it's possible that the increase or decrease that you're seeing right here could be nearer to what you're seeing with this, and that they'll only be slightly better than the last generation iPhones. But don't feel too disheartened just yet. We are going to be getting a lot of new battery upgrades to do with the technologies and how they're all going to work this year. If you cast your mind back to last summer, we actually had a report in coming to us saying that Apple were testing out stacked battery technologies from an ex-user called RG Cloud S. This means that the iPhone could have multiple batteries inside of it that break down the size, but in return gives you a bigger, better, longer battery life. So what this means is that I'm talking about that you wouldn't have to replace, say, your battery after, say, 2 years or something like this. The actual health of it would last even longer. Also, with breaking down the battery into smaller parts, it could also mean that the battery would charge up faster, and also it could mean that we could get USB-C 40 watts charging and also 20 watts charger via MagSafe this year round. This was also planned for the iPhone 15 models, but as you can see here from RG Cloud S, he has now said this is for the iPhone 16 lineup instead. For my thoughts around this, well, you know, any battery size increase is good in my opinion. Even if it's small, it's better than nothing. But I am a little bit confused about what's going on with the iPhone 16 Plus. The other benefit what you've also got to remember is we will be getting the A18 and the A18 Pro this year, and also that battery life could be even better with that. Those chipsets could be even more efficient than we got with, say, the A17 Pro and also the A16. So we've got to look out there that we could in total say for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, it could have, say, a 10% increase overall of battery life compared to what we had with the iPhone 15 Pro Max instead. And with that, before I continue on, now is a good time more than ever to mention that all leaks and reports that you see here are not 100% proof that they will come true with the new iPhone. I can only present you what reports or information and renders that are out there. So basically, the renders that are being created here are based off those sort of leaks and reports that you are seeing out there. So the final iPhone may not look like this. However, if you are still watching this video, then you're as curious as I am in knowing what is being said about the next iPhone anyway. So then guys, with Valentine's Day coming up, imagine having your Valentine's Day with no IT interruptions whatsoever, where all your systems just worked. With Pulseway, that day is sooner than you think. Real-time monitoring and auto remediation means fewer surprises. So it means that you can concentrate on unforgettable moments on this romantic 14th of February instead of concentrating on your systems instead. Whether you're planning a surprise dinner or a cozy night in, Pulseway is on the job. Start your free trial with them right now, and all the details are in the description, and fall in love with their iTeam platform right now. So then, next of all then, let's now talk about the release date. Now for release date, as it's so early, we cannot fully predict the exact date of when it will be for the iPhone 16 Ultra. However, one thing we can be sure of, just like the iPhone 15, where we actually had the Wonderless event actually happening in September time, it is most likely it's going to be exactly the same for the iPhone 16, just like it was for the iPhone 14, the 13 and the 12 as well. Normally all of these events happen around September time unless something really big is happening in the world to prevent it from happening, just like in 2020 with COVID-19. But without this then, generally speaking, Apple like to do their event around about mid-September time or the earlier sort of mid-September time, and then normally release their sort of iPhones around about 10 days later. So at the moment, predict that it'll probably be around about sort of mid-September, and then probably a week later, so in the early sort of 20s of the sort of September time, that you'll be able to get your hands on the brand new iPhone 16 models. But of course, as we get even closer to the actual release date, I'm sure more details will come in of the actual date of when it's going to be happening, and of course I will let you know when the exact date is going to be. Next of all, guys, is price. Now, I have touched on this on quite a few of my last iPhone 16 videos, and I'm going to stand by this again. At the end of the day, the likes of, say, the Pixel, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, for example, and many other phones over the last year, the prices have increased. And mainly just as because the cost of living all around the world in general has just increased around about 10% or so. That's just a kind of finger in the air sort of figure. And Apple technically in US dollars have not increased the price of any of their iPhones in years. Yes, you know, like with the iPhone 15 Pro Max, they scrapped the 128GB, we've got the 256GB model, but that was the same as the iPhone 14 Pro Max model. The price did not increase. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people, myself included, like in the UK, in India, and other countries as well, in Europe, and all the rest of the world too. You're going to say, well, the iPhone's increased in price in your country. Well, that is true, because at the end of the day, import fees and also your currency's weight towards the US dollar has to go up because of that. At the end of the day, Apple will need to make the same amount of US dollars in profit for every single iPhone they sell, no matter where they sell it inside the world right now. So at the end of the day, if the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the amount of profit they're making for this in the US, they have to make that same amount of profit in India, in the UK, in euros, any kind of currency out there in the world right now. So if they do an increase right now of $100, say for the iPhone 16 Pro Max over the iPhone 15 Pro Max, like I said, this will be the first time in years, but I will say it will have a ripple effect to other currencies where it could be a little bit more too in those countries too. But like I said, we technically haven't seen an increase in prices for iPhones in probably about 5 years or so. So for them to do this would be a first this year. And like I said, I think it's more likely than ever, especially the likes, like I said, the Galaxy S24 Ultra has increased in price. Pixels and loads of other ones have also increased in price too. So I think it's just inevitable that it is coming for the iPhone 15 line. But with that too, guys, it's time to wrap up this video. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. And also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, please also make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.